shot and the crowd goes, raw, he gets a little sloppy in his approach coming in. And the guy can time him. A good patient fighter that can weather a storm will just lock up like this and watch him. As soon as his hand leaves, boom. And they've caught him. The guy just didn't have enough power. You got to give Camille, I'm waiting to see. The verdict is still out. Whether or not he has an iron chin or those guys just didn't have power.
Yo, he ate some pretty good shots with that guy Cuba. And he never got wobbled. Never. There was no sign of anything.
So that's why my verdict. I'm not giving him that stamp yet because I can't. I got to see more. My verdict. The jury is still in. Whether or not he has an iron chin, or those guys can't crack.
Now,
we'll find out.
Now, let me ask you a question. And I know.
Hold on 1 second. Let me get the super chat real quick. Salute the nephew G tatted up in the super chat, dropping that cinco on us in the super chat. He said, and it's still all up. I don't even bother to chat people on other channels. Keep blessing the boxing community. Salute to you, G.
Yo.
Go ahead, Jay.
I just want to answer real quick to everybody watching. Y'all already know what it is, man. Blue Blood Sports is the real plug. Don't ask about sources. Blue is the source, my peoples. But like I was saying, man, listen. Kermel Moulton, I find him to be a very special talent. And I've been hearing already the rumblings about Kermel Moulton eventually meeting up with one of the Vargas kids. The one that's a little bit the most advanced. So Blue, taking into account that rivalry that is
One second. Mr. Boxing Fanatics, I never understand this, right? If I'm Cat, if I'm making up stories and what I'm saying ain't true, why do you come here? I never understand that. Like for the life of me. Why I don't understand why a person chooses to take the time out their day to try to come here every single day to try to find something to try to make me wrong. And you haven't found that yet. You have yet to find it yet. But you just try to pick and choose and poke and prod. I never understand that. Bro, if I don't like it, if somebody's not telling me any truth and you're not getting anything from it, the object in life is to learn every day. Like Jay, I can learn something from Jay. I can learn something from Round, right? That's the object, is to learn. It's to listen and learn. But if you come to somewhere and always want to be right just to try to prove somebody wrong, that doesn't make sense to me. So then you came here and you said, this is what you just said, right? You said that I made a video about Tank and Ryo in negotiations and then said, well, Ryo's trainer said the opposite. So you want to believe Ryo's trainer, then go believe him. It don't make sense. If what Robert Garcia says is golden, then go listen to what Robert Garcia is a great trainer. A great trainer, Robert Garcia, right? But what Robert also told you in that conversation. Now let's just use simple logic here. See, this is where I have the problem. People pick and choose when they have selective hearing and selective. Hold on 1 second. I got a muscle call.
He had to do it.
So you said that with Robert Garcia is golden. Now I'm gonna ask the two brothers here because they have common logic, right? You guys can use common sense, right? So he said that. Well, I said, well, Blue, you made a video saying that Tank and Ryo was in negotiation. Well, Robert Garcia, his trainer, said that ain't true. Okay, well, let's just listen to the conversation that Robert Garcia actually said, right? Because in that very interview, he contradicted himself in the interview itself. He said that they have a rematch clause with Isaac Cruz. In the same breath, he said, but if Tank want to fight us in February, we're not going to be ready for November. We'll fight him next in February. Well, if you have a rematch clause with Isaac Cruz, then you can't fight him in February either. Because if you're not ready to fight Tank in November, then you're not ready to fight Isaac Cruz this year. You said that Ryo was going to sit the rest of the year out. So if he got a rematch clause, and Isaac Cruz, we clearly know, wants the rematch because he feels duped in the fight. So therefore, if you have a rematch clause with Isaac Cruz and you're gonna sit the rest of the year out, how are you fighting Tank in February? That doesn't even make sense. You can't fight Tank in February.
Yo,
But you chose to try to pick and prowl out the interview to say, well, he said that Rayo ain't gonna be ready in this year to fight this year. Well, in the same breath, he also said that they got a rematch with Isaac Cruz that they got to honor. But then said, but I told Tank and his team, if they want to fight us in February, we'll do it in February. Now make that make sense.
yo, I'ma make it. Let me make it make sense. Blue, can I cook real quick?
Yes, sir.
So check this out. Let me cook real quick. Here's the situation, Blue, and here's the reality, right? How long have you already been involved with boxing? Think about that. For years, you've been involved with fighters in negotiations. You're involved in boxing, right? But somehow, some way, somebody who watches boxing on TV and social media is going to jump on here and tell you how things really are. Make that make sense. How you never been involved in boxing, but you're gonna know more than people who are involved in boxing. How is that even possible? Because last time I checked, to be an expert, you have to participate in that activity.
But here's the thing. I have sources and people close to everything. Again, like I always say, everything is subject to change in the sport of boxing. It's the wild, wild west. I get everything. And I give this example, right? People get mad at me for keeping them updated. How silly is that? You mad at me for keeping you updated. How silly is that? That's like saying you mad at the weatherman for telling you it might rain this weekend. Why you mad at the weatherman?
And what's crazier, they come to your show for the update, but get mad at the update.
They get mad at the update.
No, they only get mad at the update when it doesn't match the agenda.
Right. Exactly. And so I'm saying this, right? What I said was valid. Robert Garcia told you that Tank's team reached out and they would negotiate. As I told you, he just confirmed what I told you that they would. If Tank's team reached out to make the fight. Now, if Venezuela choose not to take it, how is that my problem? What I'm telling you is that the plan is for Tank to fight Rayo. That's what they want to make happen November 2nd. If Rayo decides not to take the fight, what does that have to do with me? I didn't tell him not to.
I'll tell you what it has to do with you, Blue. I think I know what's going on here. Maybe somebody's trying to come on, say something, and maybe stump you on a question, clip a fucking video with you getting stumped on it, and putting it on their platform to try to boost themselves up about a conversation or a situation that they're nitpicking.
Right.
It's obvious that they're trying to challenge you to slip up on something.
Right. Exactly.
They're trying to clout.
So I put the video out that this is what I was told from a person. If you knew who the person was from the PBC, you would be like, so why is it my fault? All I'm doing is giving you the update.
Right.
This is the plan, right? Because I have friends in places. They respect me and what I do. So all I'm doing is giving you an update. So why are you mad that I'm giving you an update on the situation to come here to be like, every day to try to dispute what I'm saying? Every single day makes no sense. Because all I'm doing is giving you what, for instance, do you get mad at ESPN commentators because they tell you that when a player in the NBA is a free agent, he got 3 teams that he's looking at? I'm hearing that he's going to go to this team. I'm hearing that he's going to go to this team. What does that have to do with the commentator? You're being told this. To give you an example, we had the situation with Tim Tszyu. Tim Tszyu told us, right, fellas, Tim Tszyu told us he didn't even know who he was fighting. They told Tim Tszyu, you fighting Terrence Crawford. He expected to know. He's like, okay, I'm fighting Terrence Crawford. Then he said they came back and told him, oh wait, Terrence Crawford pulled out. You're gonna fight Erickson Lubin. Then he said, okay, I'm planning to fight Erickson Lubin. Then Lubin is like, wait a minute, I ain't even had no conversations to fight Tim Tszyu. Then Tim Tszyu was like, well, they came back to me and they told me Lubin pulled out, I'm fighting Keith Thurman. He didn't even know who he's fighting. And he's the actual fighter.
The actual fighter.
So y'all come here trying to say, oh, you wrong about this. You wrong about you're so busy trying to because you are mad that I put and label any type of truth attached to your favorite fighter. So you just want to make me look bad. Instead of this is why I say y'all in love with fighters instead of being in love with the sport. That's the problem.
And you
Because
know,
all I'm doing is giving you an update and you're mad at me for giving you an update. No, you should be mad at Tank Team that he's negotiating with El Rayo and Rayo don't want to fight. Be mad at them. Oh, well, Robert Garcia said they got a rematch clause with Isaac Cruz. Tank told you that he wanted to fight. He got a checklist of fighters, and that's what he was sticking to. But they talked about fight Rayo. Rayo wasn't on the list. So what are we talking about?
Right.
He said that he got a list of fighters. Shakur was on the list. Rayo wasn't. Shakur has a belt. Rayo has a belt at a weight class that Tank said he wasn't comfortable fighting at. He's the one that contradicts himself.
How many times they announced Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence Jr.?
Right. Exactly.
How many times did they change? How many times?
But round one, listen to this. Tank out his mouth said he wasn't comfortable. They use these conversations when it fits the agenda and the narrative. When it came to Devin Haney, everybody said, well, Tank said he's not comfortable fighting at 140. That's why we couldn't see the Devin Haney fight. Right? And so, but now he's talking about fighting at Isaac Cruz or Rayo at 140. They ain't on the list. He said, I got a list of fighters that I want to fight. Shakur Stevenson is on the list. I want to become undisputed. Shakur has a belt. So why isn't he negotiating to fight Shakur? And make this make sense. Y'all mad at me for telling you that what when he said it, then it's a problem. It's not. It's just it don't make sense.
Right.
yeah,
And you gotta
Blue,
also,
Blue, but I want
you
to
gotta also
remind you.
remember that sometimes
You on mute,
some of
you on
this
Oh, sometimes some of this criticism, guys,
are not from us, Blue, or none of us as fans. It's actually from the fighter. The fighter comes out and says this publicly.
and then the fighter gets mad when we're questioning what came out of their mouths, when we're holding them to what they said.
Right.
See, the fighter's world is so chaotic, they forget sometimes what they said last week. Because they're dealing with so much shit. Then all of a sudden they just come out and say something. They say, didn't you just say last week this? And they don't even remember. So now they're trying to because
Hey, Ralph, what did Floyd tell us? I'm human. I can contradict myself.
right.
That's a
Right.
fact.
Right.
Yeah, he come out and tell you, I'm human. I can contradict myself. But y'all mad at the messenger.
Right.
Make this make sense.
Yeah.
The thing is, listen,
And again, like I said,
listen, boxing is a sport where fans get to watch on TV, get to see on social media some of the behind the scenes things that happen, and it gives a lot of fans a false sense of confidence in their knowledge. Oftentimes fans feel like they know a lot more than they actually do. So that causes that back and forth. If you know boxing or if you're involved with boxing, you're constantly going to get frustrated with people who are not involved and don't understand certain aspects of it.
I wish I could make a boxing show that I can please everyone in the world, but that's not gonna happen. I wish I could come out and make a boxing show that everything I said, everyone was in agreement with. You know? That's why our opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one.
Ah, shit,
and
yo.
this is the thing, right? So he said it's not that deep. No, it is that deep, brother. And this is what I do every day. This is my job. So imagine you go to your job and every day you go to work. Somebody's telling you every day, you didn't do this. You didn't do that. They're trying to find things to label you every day. You come here every day trying to be a detractor for everything I said. You have never come you come with something to try to debunk me or prove me wrong, brother.
I want to point something out,
And,
Blue. I want to point
uh,
something out real quick, right? If we look at Shakur Stevenson, right, and this is going to be a crazy comparison, but you'll see where I'm going with it. If we look at Shakur Stevenson, right now I think it's fair to say he's one of the most hated boxers, right? Everything he does gets a lot of hate. But I think we all understand that all that hate, or a lot of the hate that he gets, is because his greatness. It's because people see that he cannot be beat. He's so good that he gets hated. Floyd got hated on when he was the top guy. De La Hoya got hated on. The top guy gets hated on. So when it comes to YouTube content for boxing, this is arguably the best boxing content for people who know boxing. Now, if you're a casual boxing fan, you're gonna struggle with Blue Blood Sports because he's not gonna feed the narrative. He's gonna tell you what's actually going on. Because let's keep in mind that there are YouTube boxing creators who actually, do entertaining content. It's to entertain you. It's to talk about the gossip. It's to, talk about the arguments. But you're not really giving factual information from good sources like Blue Blood is doing. So we have to understand, there's people who are involved in boxing who have the actual information, and when they share it with you, you have to accept it. This is real information from the real sources. But again, if that information doesn't match your narrative, a lot of fans will say, nah. They'll find an angle to debate it because it doesn't match their narrative.
Right, right, right.
exactly. Oh, hold on, let me get the super chat, then you can talk
Yeah,
about it.
go ahead, brother, go ahead.
And Antonio Short, brother, super chat, dropping that cinco on the super chat. He says the chefs are cooking. Bon appetit. Yes, sir. Salute. Go ahead, Brown.
Oh no, I was just gonna touch up on a little bit about what everybody's been saying, on about these shows. And one thing that I brought up earlier in the show was this is a platform that Blue is bringing to you, the boxing fans, to keep boxing alive. While we have a platforms like this, so that we can come and share our opinions, where else, if had it not been for platforms like these, where we go? Could you go to ESPN? Could you go to no? Those things didn't exist until they branched off and saw what we were doing.
And not only
And they
that, not
started
only that,
coming.
not only that, and I love ESPN, by the way, but we all know these platforms, they are going to be biased towards certain fighters. So when you have somebody like Blue Blood Sports, Blue Blood is not aligned with anybody. He doesn't have to kiss nobody's ass. He gonna tell you what it is, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, so
You're,
like
you're
these
mute, Blue.
opinions and everything, these opinions on the show and everything is great. It's great because it keeps the flow of the show going as well, and it gives us topics to talk about so that we don't twiddle our fingers, and talk about these topics. But make no mistake, neither of us here on this panel are trying to persuade you or change your mind. We just want to give you all the information that we have, and we want to talk about it with you guys, and then we want to bring you back. But we want you to remember that boxing is truly the Wild Wild West, and everything is subject to change. So when you come back and say, yo, Blue said this about this, so what? We've been promised fights for years to struggle along in many situations, and I can come up with countless of situations. But would that change your mind, or do you already have an agenda to attack? Do you already want to build and say that you're smarter? Are you really coming here to be educated, or are you coming here to try to show that you're better? What is your goal?
I wanna.
And how are you approaching it?
I,
Or just simply come to just try to prove me wrong, right?
Wrong, right.
You just,
Not
right,
even
you just,
enjoying
right,
a show.
right. You just want to come in and just to say, hey, you was wrong.
and,
No,
and I want to
no,
ask you, I want to
let's
ask you guys a question. I want to ask you guys a question, right? And this is about a specific fight that everybody's talking about and everybody wants to see. Terrence Bud Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez. Blue, I want to ask
No.
you straight up. I want to ask you, Blue, because you're on the inside. You've been around Bud, right? Why is it so controversial that I feel like Terrence Bud Crawford can move up to 168 and beat Canelo? Why is that so controversial?
Because it goes against the grain, it goes against the narrative, it goes against the machine, right? The narrative is, people. The thing is, people don't like Terrence Crawford. There's specific fighters they just don't like. They don't want to see him be successful and be great in this situation, right? So you get a situation. You think about this, right? Canelo fought Danny Jacobs at 160, right? He jumped up from 160 to 175 and fought Kovalev, right? And that wasn't bizarre. That wasn't outrageous. We had a lot of people saying, "Hey man, what is he doing? Why is he?" He didn't fight Demetrius Andre for undisputed at 160. He chose to jump up and fight Kovalev 15 pounds higher. But now Terrence Crawford can't go from 154 to 168, which is 14 pounds.
Now,
It's actually a pound less.
now, in the time that we've been watching boxing, following boxing, covering boxing, has Canelo, besides now, right? Besides now, yo, has Canelo ever been labeled a big fighter, a big guy?
Never.
When did that narrative start? Canelo's small as hell.
Not only that, Jay, you gotta look at this from his standpoint. The thing is, most people don't want to see Canelo get possibly exposed. They feel like he's in a lose-lose situation, and then there's a agenda being pushed because if he wins, they're gonna say, well, Canelo never, he don't get no credit for it. But you fought Amir Khan. But you fought Alfredo Gomez. But you fought Jamel Charlo, two weight classes. Now Jamel Charlo is physically bigger than him, but if we want to be technical, Terrence Crawford is bigger than him.
So,
Right, he's not a big guy.
and Blue, that's where I was going with it. That's where I was going with it.
Right.
Like, Canelo is a very small 168 pounder. People
Look
just.
at this comment, Jay. You asked the question, and look what Jamal Hakeem said. He says Bud don't sell tickets. What does that have to do with it?
So think about this. When we talking about skill for skill, right? And can he beat Canelo? Right away, people talk about, oh, he don't sell pay-per-view and he don't put butts in seats. That's incoherent. That has nothing to do with it. But the question remains. The question remains. And Blue, you've been around them, so you can confirm what I'm about to say. Yo, if Canelo and Bud stand next to each other, Canelo don't even look that much bigger. Tell me I'm lying, Blue.
He's more solid. He's just thicker. But even if they fought at 154, Canelo's gonna look like that to Terrence Crawford because Terrence Crawford has a wiry, thin frame.
But remember, right? Bivol put the beats on Canelo, and what did he use? His height and reach on him. Terrence Crawford has height and reach over Canelo. So
Right, in a boxing match.
Okay.
And that's the thing that people just simply don't understand. Now, obviously, is it an uphill battle because of the actual weight
Oh, yeah.
that he's going to have to carry, and Canelo being at that weight? Of course.
Yeah.
That's the obvious. But the thing that makes it interesting for us as fans is can Terrence Crawford lose? Obviously, Canelo is a great fighter, and he's naturally at a higher weight class. So obviously, Canelo's used to carrying that weight around.
And he's gonna be the favorite.
Right. The intrigue is to try to see if Terrence Crawford can accomplish that thing. And nobody's going to take anything away from Canelo because Terrence Crawford is a great fighter. So when Shakur Robinson did it, it just go ahead, Brown.
Let me, okay. I get both you guys' point, where I'm gonna push back on this. I'm gonna take it the other way, right? I don't think this fight should ever happen. I don't think Terrence Crawford should move up to 168 and ever challenge Saul Canelo Alvarez and never give him that opportunity to stay with me. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of them trying to limp up our guys and drag them out into bigger weights to get an opportunity of beating our guys. You didn't beat him in his natural weight division. Terrence Crawford is not a 154 pounder. We were just talking about 2 weeks ago that he didn't belong at 154 fighting Ismail, and how Ismail and he struggled. But when in that same breath, just because it can roll off the tip of your tongue, you're gonna welcome a fight against a skilled fighter against Saul Canelo Alvarez, and you're not picking just any 168 pounder. You're picking the best 168 pounder. Constantly, time and time again, you want to stretch out my guy. You're not telling the Mexican to go down. You're telling my guy. Why? Because it would be a discomfort for him. Because now Saul would be at a disadvantage because he said he would be depleted. But it's okay for you to blimp up my guy and try to defeat my guy because of what you want. Why doesn't Terrence Crawford, at where he's at, which I feel he doesn't belong at 154 anyway, right? And I would have been fine with him riding out on the sunset as a king at 147. He could no longer make the weight. He made his choice. There he is. But stop trying to talk up a fight so that you can get an opportunity to beat up a blimped up. We didn't learn our lesson with Jamel Charlo.
Let me respond to that.
Him fighting in quicksand.
Let me respond to that.
Struggling all night.
Let me respond to that.
And wait, hold on. Look, I'm gonna tell you right now. Your opinion can be that Terrence Crawford's a more skilled. You can say what I think. Even if he did do it, some reason I would never doubt Terrence Crawford. I would still pick him in that fight. But so what? I don't want the fight. I don't ever want the chance of you even that possibility when my man is maxed out at 154 and we know it. The fact that he's going up to 168 still pays the bill. The great ones did it. Floyd gave Miguel Cotto 20 pounds. He did it. He showed it. But I'm tired of that. I'm tired. Why is it our guys got to be the ones to make these leaps and bounds? Why can't they retire as kings for the hard work they did in their division? Why can't you beat them at their natural weight division? Why are you asking so much out of Terrence Crawford to make him a Superman? Why does he have to be the one that go to 168 to prove his worth? Hasn't he already proved it? First man in the history of boxing to division all 4 belts, but you want more. You're always pushing our guys to make the sacrifice. Stop it. I don't want no Saul Canelo Alvarez fight with Terrence Crawford because Terrence Crawford did what he had to do and he's a champion. And he's the best. And if you want him, come down to him.
I gotta respond to that. First of all, respect because you have a sound logic. Now, I'm taking a 180. I want Terrence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. And I want it at 168. Why? Because everybody's saying that Bud cannot do it. Everybody's saying that Bud is going to get knocked out, that he's going to get washed. And I listened to people laugh at me for 3 years when I was telling people, yo, he's going to knock Errol Spence out. People laughed at me for 3 years. Oh, Errol is too big. He's going to walk him down. Bud is too little. And then what happened? One of the biggest satisfactions that I've ever had in the sport of boxing as a fan was when Terrence Crawford put that pummeling on Errol Spence after I've been telling people for years that's exactly what was going to happen. And that's how confident I feel about him beating Canelo and shocking the world. Everybody's telling me, no, it's not going to happen now. Now, I want to tell you why I personally want this fight. I want this fight because I know that Bud wants it. I want this fight because I know it's going to represent the type of career payday for Bud Crawford that no other fight is going to represent. This is the type of fight, kind of like, remember when this guy fought Floyd and he retired? And Chino Maidana, you know, he fought Floyd twice. He made enough money to retire. Now, Bud has enough money to retire right now. But all I'm saying is, with Canelo, he'll get a generational bag and his place in history. If he beats Canelo, now we have to talk about him in the all-time greats. We have to consider top 20, top 10. If he beats Canelo Alvarez at 168, we're going to have to talk about Terrence Crawford in the all-time list. And we're really going to have to wonder who in the top 10 has a more accomplished resume than Bud. In the top 10, if he beats Canelo, I believe he's cracking the top 10 all time. I want to see it. Plus, we're talking about two pound for pound fighters. I want to see it. I got to see it.
Okay, check it out, Jay. Check it out, Jay.
Let me respond to the two, right? So my thing is this, right? Is that Terrence Crawford wanted to do it. He wanted Dare to be great. You know what I'm saying? So, and I believe he can do it. He wants to do it. He wants to do it and prove that he can do it. Prove, like he said on his Instagram, he said, I want to show the world how great I am. You know what I'm saying? So he wants to test his greatness. He wants to push the limits. You know what I mean? So if he's willing to push the limits and he wants to test his greatness, I'm with him.
And I want to say, Blue, I never personally, I never demanded that fight. I swear, years back when people used to mention that fight to me, I used to just say, yo, listen, they're multiple divisions apart. That fight is not gonna happen. But one thing I want to say, my brother, you said that he doesn't belong at 154. I 100% disagree with you on that, and I'm gonna tell you why. Right? If we look at that fight with Madrimov, Madrimov did not put his weight on Crawford. He didn't bully him. He didn't hurt him at any time, right? So weight, I don't believe was a factor in that fight. 154 wasn't a factor. The factor was that Madrimov was a very jerky type of fighter, a guy that's always feinting. He was very hard to time. He was a lot better than most of us knew, and he gave Terrence Crawford a tough fight. But we have to look at every single champion doesn't dominate every single opponent they face. Floyd didn't dominate Maidana. Floyd didn't dominate De La Hoya. He didn't dominate, other fighters. So Canelo didn't dominate Triple G. Tank didn't dominate Pitbull. So now because Bud did not dominate Madrimov, now we're saying, oh, he struggled at 154. But did the weight really play a factor in that fight when he wasn't getting bullied, he wasn't getting walked down, and even Madrimov at times was fighting defensively, trying not to get hurt? So I don't believe that Bud doesn't belong at 154. He's a 154 champion right now, so to me, he's where he belongs.
Yeah,
He's a champion.
And to me too, he hurt Madrimov bad in the 11th round.
You gotta give me that. All right, check it out. First of all, Jay, we're respecting everything, but you know what I'm saying? This is what a talk show's about, right?
Yeah.
Okay, check it out, right?
Yeah.
From the beginning of your take, all I heard was I want Terrence Crawford. I.
No, because you say you didn't want it. I was responding to you. You say you didn't want it.
Okay, now, Jay, let me cook. Check it out, right?
Hold on 1 second. Hold that thought. Peace, bless to the Queen, Carmen Serene. She's in the building. Peace and blessings, Queen. Go ahead, Ram.
All right, so look, I understand you as a fan, I as a fan, right? And then your logic about Terrence Crawford disagree that he doesn't belong at 154.
I'll be right back.
Right?
Hold on back.
The thing with that is this, right? If you can see at 154 his performance, right, was it was a better fight, right? So you can say that he's probably exactly where he needs to be, like you said. He's a real 154 pounder. Yes, he is. What you're talking about is two more weight divisions with only one fight being acclimated to 154. What you're talking about is Superman shit. Now, when it's hard enough just to jump up 4 pounds in a weight division, when Wilfredo Gomez had 32 knockouts and moved up with 100% knockout ratio, just one weight division, he got destroyed. Not every man is created equal. Now, what you're also talking about is a fight that, yes, you feel that by this victory, it'll put him there. Well, guess what? Tell me yes or no. You think Terrence Crawford needs Saul Canelo Alvarez to retire? You're trying to tell me that unless he beats Saul Canelo Alvarez, if he was to retire today, with what he pulled off, what are you saying? He needs Saul? No, he doesn't.
No, I never said that, though. I never said that.
Okay,
what I said is that he climbs in the standings.
Okay. That's gonna mean that he needs him.
No, he doesn't
What
need
you
him.
said is that you said without his name, what you're saying is he doesn't climb unless he beats
respond to you. What I'm saying is, if right now, for example,
He doesn't need them.
hear what I'm saying? Okay, so let me ask you a question. Now, let me ask you a question. If
Doesn't
but,
need 'em.
no, but hear my question. Listen to my question. It's not about need. Here's a question for you. If Terrence Crawford beats Canelo Alvarez at the 168 division, and this is a yes or no, do you believe that he climbs up the ladder in the all-time list?
I believe he'll be in the same place with or without a victory without Saul.
Now that's
He'll be in
crazy.
the
Come
same
on, my man.
exact place.
Come on. You're gonna
Yeah.
say wait. You're gonna say
Yeah.
wait. So you're saying
Yeah.
that if Terrence Crawford beats the most accomplished active fighter in boxing, he doesn't move up in the rankings?
He's not the most accomplished.
Who's more accomplished than Canelo today?
Naoya Inoue, Terrence Crawford.
But you're taking the undisputed. Listen. You're taking.
There's 3 fighters.
Listen. You're taking the undisputed into consideration. None of those guys that you listen. Hear me out. Hear me out.
We have to avoid it.
But hear me out. What I mean by accomplishment. Who beat the most champions? Who beat the most Hall of Famers?
You don't get an award for that.
For not
That's a
beating the most
personal-
champions? For not beating the most
That's a
champions?
personal thing. That's a personal thing.
No, no,
That's
no.
like Floyd Mayweather.
No, no.
Excuse me. That's like Floyd Mayweather saying, I retired 50-0. That doesn't mean anything in boxing. That's a personal thing. But fighters retire and whatever all the time.
Forget about the 50 and 0. It's the
You
number.
don't get an award.
No.
You don't get an award for retiring 50-0.
No, but
You
I'm
don't
not.
get an award
No.
for fighting.
I'm not talking about the O. I'm talking about the champions beaten. That is taking it.
understand. I just said
Wait.
another-
So let me ask you a question. Right now, right now. Wait. Champions beaten. You know that counts for the pound for pound list. That's a fact. That's the reason why Tank Davis is not in the pound for pound list or top 5.
Okay.
Champion
You
beat is
also
better.
You also understand that the pound for pound list is a personal thing. It's not a real thing.
Okay,
You
but
know that.
okay. So is the all-time great list. That's what I just told you. So is the all-time great list.
Okay.
That's a
What
big
I consider what I'm going in is Hall of Fame status. When you open the door and I got my child with me and I pay my money and I buy my son a ticket, what is he gonna read on the wall? That's all I care about. I don't care about mythological.
So if you add Canelo to that wall, to that victory, that's gonna add.
Right now, I'm gonna tell you right now, your statement about Canelo Alvarez being one of the best decorated champion of our time right now, he's not even in the room. Okay? He needs to step out. Okay, if we're going on paper, and I can only speak facts, I can't deny people's shit.
Wait.
Terrence
Wait.
Crawford got 4 belts in 2 separate weight divisions.
Wait.
Now, Inoue did that shit in 6
Wait,
months.
if you wanna
Out of that,
listen. If you wanna do that argument, are you gonna put Adrian Broner ahead of all these champions? Because Adrian Broner is a 4 division champion. Are you not gonna consider that he won a bunch of vacant titles? We gotta get into the details because Adrian Broner is a 4 division champion. Are you gonna say that Adrian Broner is better than Errol Spence because he's a multi-division champion?
Okay. First of all, I don't count secondary belts. I'm not sure if you.
Broner had
don't
real
count
belts.
secondary
I don't count those either. Broner had real titles in multiple divisions.
Right.
So are we gonna put him ahead of Errol Spence because of that? Or are we gonna look at the champions that he fought for those titles and say, wait a minute, Errol got 3 belts in only 1 division, but he beat way better fighters.
You want to know something? To tell you the truth, then I guess he would be better considered.
You see?
I don't justify, right? And I don't criticize Devin Haney being faxed 1 belt by an email and beating one guy for 3. No, you know what it's going to say? It's going to say undisputed. So what you're talking about is the situation or how they got there. What I'm saying is what's on paper. And if Saul Canelo Alvarez does not have more than 4, guess what happens? Fucking AB passes you, homeboy.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Now you
So,
can say,
so,
now
so
you
how
can
many
say,
people?
no, wait, Jay, I gave you the time. I think what you're caught up on, Jay, is the same thing all of us can't get out of our mind, and I don't blame you for it. It's called popularity and ticket sales. And because of the fact that Saul is regarded, let me tell you something right now. There are thousands and hundreds of fighters that had exactly what Saul has, but didn't sell no tickets, and
Yo,
they didn't know who they were.
listen, listen.
Right?
Instead
Would
of
you be
listen,
talking
listen.
about him like that again?
I can tell you, because I understand what you're saying about popularity, right? I can tell you why I regard Canelo like that. You don't have to guess or assume. I can tell you. This is why I regard Canelo like that. When I look at his resume, and you see, that's the thing. We do something different because you're telling me, I just look at the titles. I just look at the accomplishments. Don't tell me nothing else. It's the title. I don't do that. I don't do that, my brother. I want to see. Look at this. Look at this. So I want to see. But look at this. I want to see. But listen to this. I want to see who you beat for those titles, who you beat in those divisions that you were in. So if we look at Canelo, under his belt, he has Cotto, he has Lara, he has Triple G. Canelo has names on his resume that
them old men.
let me say. You see, that's gonna break down now into opinion. But when we look at the names that he has on his resume, the people that you put ahead of him don't have names like that on their resume.
Miguel Cotto. Was Miguel Cotto 39 years old?
I can't remember that. I can't remember.
Okay, but anyway, look. You want to know something? You know what I'm saying? Among boxing circles, I know exactly what you're arguing, the point you're arguing, right? Because this is exactly how Oscar de la Hoya got rocked by what's that? Excuse my name.
Barbaro?
The great Mexican champion.
Or Chavez?
His name.
Julio Cesar Chavez?
Okay, this is the same way Oscar de la Hoya got rocked by Chavez, right? And the thing was that Chavez was, revered as a Mexican-born fighter, right? And Chavez always criticized Oscar for being an American Mexican fighter, right? And to some people's opinions or whatever it was, but you can see the games that the fighters among themselves and the debates and the little bickering that goes along. So amongst champions, what you're saying, yeah, tiene razón. You're right. You're right about what you're saying, and I get it. I get your point, right? But my whole quest too at times is to break away these lies. Now I'm about to say something that is going to get real touchy, and you both might lash out at me. I might open a big can of worms here.
Go for it.
I'm willing to walk out on this ledge. I'm willing to do it in the name of boxing. You know why? Because I love boxing and I'm tired of the lies. Okay? So I'm going to be him. I'm walking out there right now. Woo! Manny Pacquiao is not an 8 division world champion.
That's fair.
He is not.
That's fair.
Right. He's 7 division.
Right?
That's
Okay?
fair.
And
That's
for
fair.
as many people want to jump on me and say, no, we counting the ring, we counting this, I'm sorry, people. I'm sorry.
That's fair.
If the people themselves that make the belts, if the WBC themselves, I've written them, if they themselves say to me, we do not accept or acknowledge any of our secondary belts as champions, we acknowledge them as titles. The only one we deem is the super one, and we must keep it prestigious. So I said, wait a minute, sir. In the Hall of Fame, you don't acknowledge? He says, no, they'll give you recognition for it, but you're not the champion until you beat the champion. You have a piece of a world title. So if the people that are making them and giving them out don't acknowledge their own belt, then I'm out.
Yo, listen, I agree with you 100%. He's not an 8 division champion. However, he's still the only 7 division champion anyway. So, I don't think I'm sorry, six division champion. I don't think that's gonna
They
take.
don't count the IBO.
You know what? I don't count that either. I don't count that either. So I'm good with six too. But if we go with six, it still doesn't take away from the greatness that is Manny Pacquiao. You know, like we understand. I think that we understand. We understand that he's a six division champion. But none of us are ever gonna use that argument to try to diminish him. None of us are ever gonna say, well, he's overrated or he's a hype job. I think anybody understands that. Listen, Pac-Man is one of the greatest.
On the ledge. Here I go again, on the ledge. I gotta push back. Manny Pacquiao was an exciting fighter because he was, to me, what we consider a fan-pleasing fighter. He brought you blood. He brought you action. But when I went back to cover that story about the belt, which it actually broke my heart because I was mad at ESPN and Max Callahan, and it was kind of like finding out wrestling was fake when I found out that his belts weren't real. It fucking hurt me. I was like, motherfucker, you lied to me about one of my favorite fighters. How could you do this to me as a fan? But I had to accept it. And then it made me dig down another rabbit hole, and I started realizing on his resume, his best fighters, he was a repeated fighter. He just kept doing rematches and rematches. He fought this guy 3 times, this guy 4 times, this guy a whopping 5 times, this guy 2 times. He was like a fighter that he just kept going on the action. He knew it was a great fight, and that's what we remember. I think I was more amazed about the wars that he was in, and I didn't realize the situation. And actually, his record wasn't a really great record. And now I'm starting to realize why the Hall of Fame hasn't elected him in yet. Because I think a lot of these things are going to come to light. Why do you think he hasn't been inducted yet? You know, and he's trying to be like, oh, I'm not retired type shit, so you got to be retired for so many years. That's bullshit. Because they already notified him that they didn't select him. Okay? So when they go to crack open his record, and like I'm telling you, it's heartbreaking sometimes. Because
I mean, he got a couple of fake. He got a couple of.
My memory remembers wars. My memory remembers great fights. But I didn't remember that it was the same person and another person the same time over and over again. I didn't catch on to that.
But
all I caught on was the excitement.
But
and why you
okay.
not in the Hall of Fame?
But let me push back on that. Let me push back on that. Juan Manuel Marquez. What was it? 5 times with Marquez? Marquez is a bona fide Hall of Famer. Eric Morales, twice. That's another or 3 times. That's another Hall of Famer. So what I'm saying is, these guys that he rematched, these guys that he rematched, they're some of the best of the division in the era.
But you got to admit, they're the same guy over and over and over.
But can we look at the resume and see how many legit champions he beat?
With 3 fighters that he fought, you can tack on 11 fights in his resume. With just 3 fighters that he fought, 11 fights.
And who are those 3 names?
Come on, man.
Who are those 3 names?
No, I didn't debate that they weren't. I was in agreement with that. I said that right off the rip. I said the men that he fought and he kept repeating, they were great fights. I think I was enamored with the fight itself. I told you my guilt. I told you I was a prisoner of the moment. I love to see great fights.
I mean trilogies.
Manny Pacquiao's resume read like I just found out Santa Claus wasn't real, brother. When I backed away from that,
you gotta look at it from this standpoint as well, though. He fought, he repeated these fighters, but they're legends, though.
Oh yeah. I'm agreeing. Yeah, I agree.
And then he did beat Cotto.
And reason.
He beat Cotto, and Cotto wasn't catchweight, but he still beat Cotto.
Beat De La Hoya. A lot of people don't remember Pacquiao. Listen to this. Pacquiao moved up from 135 to 147 to fight Oscar De La Hoya. He was so small he couldn't even make 147. He made like 142.
We're not denying, yeah, doubting his skills. I'm not
No. But I'm just pointing out one instance where a guy jumped up two division and was successful, just like Crawford is gonna be versus Canelo.
Okay, no man is created equal. Manny Pacquiao is a different being. Check this out, though. What I'm saying is, you guys are proving my point. You guys remember all the great moments Manny Pacquiao gave you. That we won't deny. The debate is, when they cracked his resume, there was a lot of action stuff. There was a lot of highly skilled matches and great moments.
And a lot of big names. A lot of big names.
Not right. Okay.
I think he beat 5 Hall of Famers.
Right.
That's it. That's it.
I'm not,
Right.
and I didn't say he beat 5 Hall of Famers without Oscar, right?
Right.
He beat Cotto, he beat Marquez, he beat Morales, Barrero, and Tim Bradley.
Yo, some fighters will not beat a Hall of Famer in their whole career.
He fought Tim Bradley 3 times.
And got robbed versus Bradley in that first fight.
They go back to that.
Right back to it. Right back to it. Thank you. Right back to it. So, listen. But what I'm saying is that when you look at other guys' resumes and like impressive ones, when you look at like, okay, somebody told me, you like Naoya anyway a lot, and you think he's probably the best 122 pounder, and I was like, no, hell no. I said Naoya anyway is great, and I promote him because he's in the now, right? And I don't want people to miss out on good fighters, so I'm trying to point out another good fighter, right? I said, but the best 122 pounder, right? I said, well, I'm up for debate, but I'm just gonna bring this one to the equation, right? Okay.
Cuatro alas?
No. Wilfredo Gomez had 32 fights, 32 knockouts, 17 world title defenses at 122, and all 17 title defense, he ended them by knockout. He has 100% knockout ratio and title defenses. He had 17 title defenses, all 17 were by knockout. I said, Naoya Inoue would have some work to do. And the difference between that is there's a different name after it. It's not the same guy 3 times. It's not the same guy 4 times.
But
It's
you
not
gotta
the same
remember.
guy twice.
But you gotta remember.
Right. But I understand. You don't gotta sell me. You don't gotta sell me on.
No.
I mean, understand what you're saying.
No. I'm talking about how many fights, right, that Pacquiao had. So even if you take away all these repeats that you're addressing, if he fought those guys once only, all of those, he still has over 40 wins and still has a bunch of Hall of Famers in his resume. So even if you take those away, he's still an all-time great.
That's up to the boxing guys to sort out. That's not for me. That's up to the Hall of Fame to sort out. That's what they're doing right now.
He would still, in my eyes, he would still have 5 wins over 5 Hall of Famers.
Right, in my eyes too as well. I don't disagree with you. But now, they're electing him now, I guess, in the next one. I heard rumors that he's going to be elected now, right?
He's going in. He's going in for sure. He's going in for sure. Like, he's in.
Yeah, no.
Why did it take this long? Why did it take this long?
Yo, listen.
The activity.
Exactly. That's what I would assume. The activity, Manny Pacquiao. Remember when we thought he was retired, the guy came back and beat Keith Thurman.
Is Floyd Mayweather in the Hall of Fame?
But Floyd Mayweather been doing exhibitions. He ain't been fighting. He's doing
He's
exhibitions. He's not active.
I know. We were active in the same time.
Yeah, no, but Floyd is doing exhibitions. He's fully
I know.
retired.
I know.
When you look at Manny, he can rank fight.
I know what a smoke screen is. Manny, everybody's starting to ask why you ain't in the Hall of Fame. Book a fight and let them think that you fight and just say that.
I don't think that's the case. I think Manny's just trying to get the bread.
Okay. Terrence Crawford sharing the ring with a man such as decorated as Saul Canelo Alvarez. If everything plays out in a good world, the way Blue is explaining it, look how quick. No, you're not going to enter the ring, the first man with 3 weight divisions with all where he is.
And check this out, fellas. He didn't play. He went to each division. He would have went to each division. 40 cleaned it out. 47 cleaned it out, and 54 cleaned it out.
Cleaned it out. He's a greedy little champion. When he enters the division, there's nobody called king but him.
All facts. And so
All right.
now, and guess what?
Who would have to be honored to share the ring with him?
Now,
And the best part about it,
you imagine.
guess what, Jay? And Brown, guess what? The best part about it, he ain't wasted. Like you said, his biggest enemy right now is time, right? And guess what? He do
All the
this.
time, undefeated.
He do this. He's not wasting time. As long as he stay active in that time frame, right?
Now, Blue.
By the time he fight Canelo, he will still be 37.
Right.
Now,
Or
Blue.
38.
Now we have to consider.
Because Canelo, we know gonna fight Mexican Independence Day weekend. He don't
Right.
turn 38 until now. Obviously, we playing Smith, right? But
Right,
he don't
we
turn
are.
38 until September 27th. They would have already fought.
Now we have to take into account, right? The people who beat Canelo, both of them, Floyd Mayweather and Bivol, they didn't beat Floyd. I mean, they didn't beat Canelo with power. Neither one of those guys were known for being power punchers or even had a high knockout percentage. They beat Canelo with boxing skills. Bivol with that reach advantage. So all I'm saying is when Crawford and Canelo finally fight, it's not even gonna be about the 168 and all the weight. It's gonna be a skilled boxing match and who got the best skills to outbox the other fighter. Because Canelo, I'm telling y'all right now, man, he's not gonna stop Crawford. And Crawford is not gonna stop Canelo. So it's gonna be a fight that is gonna go to it's gonna be a fight that's gonna go to the scorecards. And all I'm saying is Canelo has had problems with slick boxers. Even Lara, till this day, I know people that argue that Lara beat Canelo. That was a very close fight.
And that's why, and I'm glad you said that, because I liken Terrence Crawford's chances. I've always done because he's Laura with power, and he's more accurate, right? Laura's 5'9", he's 5'8". Laura got 75-inch armies, he got 74.5-inch armies. He's a southpaw that switches orthodox to southpaw, right? But he got more power in both hands than Laura. Laura's left hand dominant, right? He can clip you with the right hook. He can, Laura's very skilled. He's very talented.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
He's one of the most talented boxers there is. But Terrence Crawford uses his right hand better than Laura uses his. So he's Laura with power. And if he wants to move, he can move. But the difference is when Laura stays in the pocket, he gets hit way more than Bud does. His timing in the pocket, Laura stayed there too long. When Bud will get out. Now, I will say this. The difference is Bud takes more chances that can get him clipped than Laura is going to do. See, Laura's not going to take them in chances. It's hard to clip Laura. You know what I'm saying? Because he's going to get in and get out. You know what I mean? Bud is still, what we say,
He'll trade leather with you.
Yeah, he'll wait for the receipt. He'll stand there and he'll wait and see if you're going to give him the receipt. And if he can just scan one more item before he got to get off the belt. You know what I'm saying? So that's what round I would agree with you from that standpoint, because then the power and the weight is going to matter in the pocket if he stay too long. And one thing that I did look at when he fought Majimov is there was times that he stayed in the pocket too long with Majimov, but Majimov wasn't quick enough and didn't have the decisiveness enough to take advantage of it. That's something that Canelo will have. Canelo his eyes are wide open, right? Canelo's downfall is he's just physically challenged when at the highest level, right? He just don't have the hand speed, foot speed, and all the complete package. But his ring IQ and his understanding of what's going on is bar none. You know what I'm saying? We can't challenge that. Canelo is extremely smart. Like you just said, Jay. His issue when he fight boxers is his physical challenges. His feet, their feet are faster than his. Bivol, they can box him outside, inside, and he just can't get there. You know what I'm saying?
And that reach advantage, if you notice, versus before, he couldn't overcome the reach advantage. He either got clipped from the outside or ate 2, 3 good shots trying to get in.
And check this out, Jay. Bud got 2 inches. His before armors is 72. Bud's is 74 and a half.
That's what I've been trying to tell people. That's what I've been trying to say, Blue, that Terrence Crawford is not going to be this little 135 pounder in front of Canelo, this heavyweight like fighter. People think that the size difference between them two is huge, and it's really not that big. It's not. I've seen him, I've seen him be in the same area where,
Canelo's more compact.
you know, Canelo obviously has a wider body, but I've seen them in the same room. I see them in the same room where you look left, Canelo's there, you look right, Bud is there, and Canelo don't look much bigger. He don't. He not a big dude.
Yeah, he's more compact. But I will say this: carrying the weight is going to be something that I agree with Round with. Is like getting acclimated. Carrying that weight at 168 for let's be honest, like you said, Jay. I don't think neither one of them get knocked out. So carrying that weight for 12 rounds, is that going to start to play a part of where Bud can't move no more?
I want to answer to that. I want to answer to that real quick. I'm going to tell you why I feel confident that Bud is going to operate exceptionally well at 168. I'm going to tell you guys why. And what I'm about to say, I think you guys have seen it, right? Terrence Crawford is a guy that if you've been following him long enough, you know he don't be smoking, he don't be drinking like that. When he's not getting ready for a fight, the guy's still in the gym. The guy, you've never seen a picture of a fat Terrence Crawford. You've never seen a picture of an out of shape Terrence Crawford. When you take a fighter who's been taking care of his body the way Crawford has, I'll compare him to LeBron James. You see what LeBron James is doing because the guy's spending over $1 million on his body every year. Terrence Crawford keeps his body in the type of shape that when he moves up, he's going to be in that type of shape. He's in, Blue, you know him personally. You can attest the man is in exceptionally good shape. That's why I believe.
I'm going to say this. This may not be the most popular thing people believe, but to me, right, Bud look, to me, he looked better in a Majmal fight than he did in an Errol Spence fight. Not the performance. I'm talking about his hand speed, his movement. To me, he just looked sharper. He looked quicker. His reflexes it looked like the weight game to me.
Hey, Blue, check this out, right? To me, knowing just who Terrence Crawford is, if you guys were, I swear to God, if you guys were talking about any other human on planet Earth, I'd be all over you guys. But the fact of the matter that you're talking about Terrence Crawford, that I know that he's a collegiate wrestler, I know that he's a multiple athlete and plays multiple sports at high level. I also know that he's a committed athlete. So what Jay is saying, if I was to have to gamble on any fighter being able to pull it off, it would be Terrence Crawford. Had it been anybody else you would be talking about, I would tell you right now, all humans don't age the same. And you can't use that analogy just because one guy's doing something that it's going to make you think that another guy can do it. You wouldn't be able to use that. Being the fact that he's right, that Terrence Crawford does live a boxer's life in and out of the ring, that is very crucial to his transition, to weight. So if I had to make a bet, but here we are again. When we saw Saul Canelo Alvarez move up to 175, he said he felt sluggish, felt like that wasn't his best weight. When he went down to 168, what did he say? What did he campaign? He said nobody beats this version of Saul Canelo Alvarez, and I'm back. Why? Because he had to realize to go down to his weight.
But let me say something.
Is the American fighter to stretch himself out.
Let me say something about 175. Let me say something about 175 though, because at 175, let's really quick analyze Canelo Alvarez versus Dimitri Bivol. Can we really say in that fight Weight was a
He looked
factor.
terrible.
Wait,
He
wait,
looked
wait.
slow.
No, no,
He
no,
looked
wait.
sluggish.
But let me just say something.
He
Let me
looked
just say
like the
something.
same.
But let me just say something. From Bivol end, when we look at Bivol, did Bivol use his weight to beat Canelo, or did he just outbox the shit out of him with his height and reach advantages?
Was Canelo the same man, or was he slow and sluggish and not reacting? His cat-like reflexes and his feet movement were
Yo,
underneath.
I don't know. I don't know if that's just
No,
an
I
excuse.
told right.
I don't know if that's an excuse from
I told
Canelo
right.
because he got whooped.
I got
He was
push
slow
back.
on the
I got push
trigger.
back on that because he looked the same as he did when he fought Kovalev, right?
Yeah, boom,
And
boom.
he looked the same as he did when he fought.
Demetrius Shiva was a better fighter than Kovalev.
He looked
No,
like,
no, but
and when he
looked the
fought
same.
Lara too.
The
When he
same
fought
the
Lara.
same. No, not even Lara. When he fought John Ryder, he didn't look great. He didn't. His movement wasn't that. He didn't. He looked sharper against Jaime Munguia than he did John Ryder. Remember, and then he said he had the injuries. You know what I'm saying? So I can't say it's the weight. I say it's the skills. Because if they come forward and they present themselves and they cooperate, this is what I always said. Canelo needs his opponents to cooperate. He's never had a major fight that he won. That was one of his major fights that he won decisively.
Yeah, since I've always been on the side that I'm already tired of Canelo Alvarez fighting these guys coming up. So I'm already tired. Just because his name is Terrence Crawford, you know what? Even if he was to win, I wouldn't give him any credit for that anyway. You know why? Because you know what? I gotta put my foot down. I'm not buying a fight no more that he's fighting a guy moving up. So what if his name's Terrence Crawford? Why doesn't Saul Canelo Alvarez fight David the Monster Benavidez?
You're gonna watch him versus Terrence Crawford. You know you're gonna watch him versus Terrence Crawford.
You know what I'm saying?
And let me say this.
I don't care about it no more.
I'm glad you said that, right?
I'm tired of it trying to bring up that. Why don't that guy's in his own weight division? Maybe the Monster Benavidez is standing right there. Pick on somebody your own size.
And I'm glad you said that, right?
Bring up guys for weight divisions.
I'm glad you said
Guy.
that. I'm glad you said that, right? I'm glad you said that because that takes us back to what you just said. Remember, he said nobody beats this version of Canelo at this weight. Nobody that you choosing to beat this weight because
He's fighting the Monster Benavidez. He's right there.
Right. You're strategic.
Why we gotta talk up a little guy 2 weight divisions down?
Right. You're strategically looking for a specific style at this weight class. So that's why I said I can't say because here's the thing, right? And again, like you said, Round, that's valid, right? The weight, carrying the weight. You know what I'm saying? That's the same thing I was just saying with Bud. Do we know if he can carry the weight? You know what I'm saying? It's like, is that going to be a problem? You know what I mean? For moving around for 12 rounds with that weight.
Yo, I feel like, look, I feel like carrying the.
Hold on one second, right? Against a guy in Canelo Alvarez that is a great fight. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is this, right? When Canelo fought a bigger guy in JSmiff, right? He didn't have that same. JSmiff is bigger than Dimitri Bivol. You know what I'm saying? And Billy Joe Saunders is about the same size as Dimitri Bivol. And he didn't have those problems with them because they cooperated with him.
Right.
You see
When
what I'm
he's
saying?
fighting, doing what he's doing in front of him, right?
Right.
He's just shining, being that dude. And
Right.
I understand who Terrence Crawford is, and I understand he can even pull off this fight. But you know what? I'm tired with Saul's shit. I'm tired with his gimme fight, bringing up the little guy all the time. That's all we're talking about. When David Benavidez has been standing there this entire time in your weight division. Why don't you fight him? Fight him. If you want to prove how good you are, Saul, fight him.
So listen.
My guy alone.
So listen. Canelo.
And he's just mandatory.
See,
Mandatory.
the thing with Benavidez, right, is that we have to take this into consideration, right? Benavidez is a big dude. He's big, he's a big guy. And Canelo is a small guy, which is what I've been telling everybody. So if he move up to 175 to fight the Mexican monster, where he's gonna be, physically challenged to the fullest, I think he's gonna get pummeled and possibly even stop for the first time if he goes versus the Mexican monster. Because now look at this. Blue, let me ask you a question, Blue. Let me ask you a question. You see the size difference between Canelo.
Hold on, Jay. Come here, shorty. Jay,
What up?
tell him where you at, Jay.
What's good? I'm in the Dominican Republic in your next destination.
Tell him what you do out there.
Yo, I run the press for the Boxing Association here in Santiago. So we in the amateur boxing tournaments, and we out here, man. We out here trying to get Blue to come out here.
Okay, doing it real big.
Yeah. Definitely, man. And,
I think it's in the arc that the Wi-Fi's acting up.
no, I told him I have the third world country Wi-Fi. By the way,
Don't let the light go. Don't let the light go out.
definitely. By the way, if we keep Blue too long on here, it's not my fault. I'm always ready to let him go. I don't want no smoke with his boo.
All facts.
No smoke, no smoke. Get in the kitchen.
All facts.
Aye.
Yes, sir.
I gotta get up at 5 for this now. Oh, yeah, anyway, fight, because I'm covering it.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that, man.
Yeah,
That's
5 o'clock
that's
in
gonna
the
be on.
morning,
That's gonna
man.
be on.
Gotta get up.
We're ready
Gotta
for this.
see it. I don't care who he fights. DJ, man, listen, he's staying active. You know, listen, I try to tell people, when is it that boxers get a phone call that can change your life? You're not fighting for one belt that's hard enough. He's giving you an opportunity for 4. With one fight, you can stamp your name into the Hall of Fame. You don't have to do all his hard work. He didn't fight Stephen Kubo Fulton. He didn't fight Marlon Tapales. And he didn't fight adversity against Luis Pantera Nari. But I give you all of that in one night. Do you actually think that you're not going to bring out the best motivation in that fighter? Whatever that fighter has left, I can guarantee you he's going to give it to him because he understands the severity of the moment. Not only
I don't got nobody
You don't got-
touching Inoue until he goes to
Check it out,
126 and
look,
fight Bam.
Look, that's not my debate. What I'm saying is, look at his competitor. You have to respect TJ Doheny.
Oh yeah.
They're talking about this
Hell
guy
yeah.
like he's a bum. I gotta repeat this. Listen, if I get on and say, now Inoue is gonna wipe down TJ Doheny, when he beats him, they're gonna say, even you said he was a bum. I have to give this man his recognition as a professional fighter, as one, and a former world champion, and a real threat, whether you believe or not. Listen, look who we're debating about. TJ Doheny is the number 2 ranked opponent in the world. For the WBC, he's number 2. That's not good enough for Naoya Inoue. This guy's still a bum. How high do you have to be? How dominant as a champion when they're considering the number 2 ranked opponent not a serious threat?
Oh no.
Right?
He's a serious
Right?
threat. He's a real threat.
So, thank you for saying that then. So now you're acknowledging he's a real threat.
He's a real
Thank you.
threat.
So that's why I know you're going to get the best version of TJ Doheny. And whenever a man is putting up 4 belts, let me tell you, not everybody in history that won 4 belts defended 4 belts. Jamel Charlo never defended all 4 belts. Terrence Crawford never defended neither of his 4 belts in neither of his weight divisions. So it's a separate room when you're going out there and doing Bernard Hopkins shit, where he was giving men opportunities at 4 belts that can change your life in one night. You understand? So when men are writing legacies like this, and shouts out to Terrence Crawford for being the first man to inspire these other men to think that it was possible. Kind of like some Conor McGregor shit. No, excuse my language. Nobody thought that you could win 2 belts in the UFC until he did it. The minute he did it, everybody else wanted to do it. That's why Terrence Crawford is a trendsetter in boxing. And shall he be successful and chase down the all 4 belts at 154, he would be the first man. And he has to consider that kid is still out there now. Oh yeah, in a way. He only has like 3 or 4 fights left, and he might have a little bit more than him. He's only 30. So in Terrence Crawford's legacy, this Japan dude can come in rare to take
So
right
I gotta
over.
say something. I gotta say something about Inoue though. Inoue.
And let's get our last words because we got to get out of here.
I just want to say Inoue, he has an advantage similar to Pacquiao that he started at a very low weight class, which allows him to move up and win titles in a lot of divisions. So my last word, I just want to say, First of all, appreciate you, Blue. It's an honor and a privilege to come on your platform, chop it up with you. And I want to say these two predictions real quick, man. Terrence Crawford is going to beat Canelo Alvarez. Shakur Stevenson is going to beat Tank Davis when it happens. I love both of you. I appreciate you, my brothers.
Yo, Jay, my man, yo. It's been a pleasure, man. I want to say real quick, Jay, Blue, thank you for having me on the platform.
And do me a favor, fellas. Do me a favor, go on to Instagram. Just Jay, I got your number. Round, I need your number. Just shoot me your number so that way, that way I can just send y'all the link.
All right. All right.
I can just text you. You know what I'm saying, and then we get it going.
Absolutely. Well, like I was saying, thank you for having me on the platform. Jay, it's always been a pleasure. Thank you for not making it a boring show and always agreeing and giving me some excitement. That's what we need. We need a little back and forth. I don't want to talk with a bunch of yes men. I love it. And I can take criticism. As soon as I turn off this mic, I go back to my life right here in the mic. We could always debate something. Please, fight fans, please give this video a like. Subscribe to Blue Bloods TV, and don't forget to give the video a like. I lost my train of thought. Lost my train of thought right there. But Blue Bloods, thank you for everything.
I appreciate that, man.
Absolutely.
I want to get y'all back on when Clay is on, so we can cook again, man.
Oh yeah, I cook with Clay all the time.
Yeah, so I'm thinking tomorrow we're gonna cook.
Yeah,
All right.
absolutely. I'm gonna drop my
Let's
phone
get
number
it.
in the link.
All right.
Hey, yo, Clay, baby.
Appreciate y'all. Salute.
Y'all already know what it is, my peoples. Peace out.
Yes, sir.
One.
Yes, sir.
Trying to sign out. You sign me out.
I got you.
Peace out, my boy. There you have it, my peoples. I was politicking with Blue Blood Sports. Just talking boxing, man. Talking about the situation with Canelo, with Terrence Crawford. Now you know it, by the way, is fighting tomorrow, like 5 in the morning, so we got to get it in when it comes to that, my people. But I appreciate y'all jumping in with me. Y'all already know what it is, man. Box Center. Your favorite boxer,